to call the meeting to order. Welcome, everyone. Has everyone had a chance to look over the minutes from the last meeting? Motion to approve.
I'll motion to approve.
I'll second.
All right. Everyone in favor? All righty. Visitor comments.
Don't see any.
All right, so that leads us to our introduction of our newest commission member. Thank you. I guess first we can go around, just introduce, everyone can introduce themselves. I'm Eric Bowering. I'm the vice chair. I'm a citizen at large.
Okay, nice to meet you.
John Sauter, I own Leopard Boutique in Old Webster.
Okay,
Tim Delenti here and Zoe, Mass Pit by Zoe Zadek here in Webster.
okay, nice to meet you guys.
Eric Wyman, assistant police chief.
Nice to meet you.
Brand City, come, I'm the one that keeps emailing you all that stuff.
Yeah, thank you. I'm Melissa, I own Cyrano's. At Cyrano's? Yeah. Oh, nice. And I'm assuming Betty, you're with Betty's Books? Yes.
Yeah, I'm Betty. I own Betty's Books.
Nice to meet you. I'm Marnie Klotch. I'm a citizen and I have an art studio. Marnie's Creative Outlet over on Marshall.
Oh, cool.
Great.
Awesome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, so to old business, we could start with the coffee or the after hours. I think we talked about having it in December. Jerry and I spoke about moving it to January. Just with December being so busy. Good morning.
Good morning, sorry.
So we just thought about it would be better to move it to January. I have a date picked for that. We could vote on January 22nd. Yeah, I don't know if anyone has any thoughts on that or
I
I agree. Yeah. Makes sense.
yeah, so sorry, yeah, we just talked about moving that after hours December potential meetup to January.
Good idea.
Yeah, because everyone's Decembered out.
Yeah, already.
Yes.
Perfect.
So
I'd make a motion not to skip Thanksgiving. Once everybody's got their decorations on
does
it.
that sound good with you, Betty? All right. So and then I also have a date for the February coffee, but I was going to push it to April because our topic is going to be potential topic is the comprehensive plan, and we would need as much time as possible for that. Is that accurate?
I think so. Yeah,
Okay.
that's a good idea. Yeah. There's a lot of talking and discussion amongst staff right now.
Okay.
Yeah, so I would think that a little more time would be appreciated.
Okay. So, Fran, do we then make a motion?
Did you have a date in April you wanted to?
April 16th.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So, yeah, I make a motion to have the after hours gathering January 22nd and the BDC coffee April 16th.
I'll second your motion.
All right, everyone in favor? Perfect. All right, so Tammy's not here. She normally runs the collaborative the collaborative subcommittee. So I think we can kind of leave it for her to kind of decide whether, depending on turnout, decide whether that's still a good thing. So probably just kind of push that to January.
January.
Already pushing things in the year. I like it.
Mhm.
All right, so then explore St. Louis tour feedback.
I had a lot of people in my store at one point. You saw it. I saw you outside.
I was corralling them, pointing them to There was even a couple of folks that I saw had leopard bags. Some of them had actually done some shopping.
Sorry.
Love that.
I got a lot of them came up to me personally, and they were just so happy to be there and enjoy everything. It was very pleasant. It wasn't a very nice day. It was kind of a little misty and rainy, and it was great. The impression I got after they left, especially from the feedback from the Explore people, was that they feel connected to Webster now,
Love it.
which
That's a win.
was one of the goals. No, it was from my perspective, I thought it was a good day.
I'd like to add, a huge debt of gratitude to Fran.
Agreed.
This was, if I understand correctly, her brainchild, her suggestion, and that Explore St. Louis picked it up and ran with it. And just featured Webster, like, it's really incredible. And I really appreciate this commission kind of pulling together like a little bio to share, David, with for each business district. And yeah, Laura and I were able to share our, love and admiration for our community. And then Chris, what's Chris's last name? Marshall from Llewellyn's was there as well and shared some history. So the folks really got a nice flavor of our, and a sense of community. And so, yeah, it was great. Thank you for inviting me to participate. It was quite an honor. I love it.
Yeah, it's the first time I've ever done anything like that. And at the moment, it's the only one that's planned. So,
That's great. And the neighborhood blogs or that was just read aloud on the bus.
no,
I'm not sure.
they each had a copy of the Old Webster Trade Association directory brochure and the Old Orchard. And so the Explore people talked about it because there was 2 buses and Explore person on each bus. So while they were traveling, they were talking about it. So like when they drove through Old Orchard on their way to the rep. The rep was their first stop. They were pointing out, this is where on your, they were definitely the tour guide kind of folks.
Yeah. It's really good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Fran.
But I apologize for coming in a few minutes late. I'm here on behalf of Dr. Peoples today.
This is our Deputy City Manager, David
Yeah.
Buckless.
I've met some
You
of you
haven't met him
already. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we have a new member this morning, Marnie.
Hi, I'm Marnie Klein.
Oh, I think I saw you at the work session when you
Yeah.
when you interviewed.
Yeah.
Ryan.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Awesome. So, are there any next steps? I mean, I as far as like,
Yeah, in fact, the mayor and Jamie and I have had a discussion about kind of like relaunching, because besides the folks that have kind of forgotten about it, that are still members, there are businesses that weren't in existence, for Madrina wasn't even open the last time we went through this. To kind of do a relaunch, do a cover letter, send it all out, get the, because you could do everything online. I have the email address, it's a simple thing. But just to let people know, I think would be a good idea. And it would be something that would be coming from the business, the BDC, with their cover on it. That's the idea anyway,
okay,
if that's something you want to do.
and that should happen soon, right? I mean,
No reason not to.
yeah, might as well keep the,
Keep the momentum going.
yeah. All right, and then holiday marketing plans. I know there's been a lot of back and forth.
Can I just ask real quick before we move on, what kind of the action item is on that? Like who's gonna do it and what we're gonna produce?
Yeah, I think, yeah, it'd be good we can get a draft if you wanna email back and forth.
Sure.
You, me and Tammy, we can get a draft. A draft going.
Yeah, I wanna get that going. We see a lot of people on Sunday as wandering around. And so that'd be something, I would like to have it in my hand then, but that's obviously not gonna happen, but I
Yeah.
can walk around with the folder, or at least talk to people. the link. Well, not the same thing.
With his leopard skin Santa hat on.
Nice.
Ain't too proud.
I like it. All right, so holiday marketing, so we've had yesterday, right, Fran? Julie Tristan was out.
Yeah, she was supposed to be out. I didn't get out to see if she was out, but that was her plan.
She was on the radio at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, so I was like.
That's unusual for
Yeah.
her.
We have a hand raised over here.
Oh.
Hello, I was gonna
Hello.
say Julie did come into Betty's books, so she was out
Okay.
Witness.
with
She was
her
in the
cell
wild.
phone,
She was in the wild.
videoing.
Awesome. And then so follow up on and then we visited some commissions.
Yeah, Tammy made it to, well, see, Old Orchard didn't have a quorum. She made it to Crossroads, right? Betty, you were there. Old Webster, I did not make it to because I had a conflict that day. But a lot of it was already resolved by that point as to getting the information out and about that we needed to do the Julie Tristan and everything. But that was more just kind of put the information out. I know, having talked to some people in the Old Webster Business District, they were aware from our previous meeting of what was going on. And so, it's just a matter of kind of, that was the groundwork, right? Because we knew we weren't going to change anything, but we kind of wanted to start tracking stuff. Getting the real work is going to be pulling the ROI on what we did do so that we have something to present earlier next year to try and build a better plan for the next holiday, more purposeful.
Awesome. So we'll work on compiling that, I guess, kind of after the holidays, see how it.
Yeah, I
Maybe
think I'll reach
January.
out to Jordan to just say, what do we need to be doing as this is ongoing, making sure we're getting the numbers on this stuff. And so that we can at least get an idea of what we spent, what we got for it, and then we could talk about if there's any reallocation necessary or trying to get more funds.
Cool.
I think there was talk too, or if I may.
Yes.
Thank you, Chair. About maybe setting up a regular schedule meeting with Jordan to, establish a cadence and strategize with, with just a normal rate of engagement
Mhm.
instead of like throwing things out there and trying to see if we could cram it into his schedule. I don't know if this group would be interested in something like that, and I'd be happy to participate where it makes sense.
Okay.
Is that something that you've been talking to Dr. Peoples about already?
Yes, that is something that the group has been talking about, and I think that I think she was here in the meeting last time, David, that that was brought up. So yeah, it's just a matter of, the group talking about it formally and then taking a vote on that forward with Jordan. Because I know he's.
Is that the subcommittee, the marketing subcommittee that you're talking about?
I don't know.
So I think it's probably twofold.
Probably.
It could be. part
Yeah.
of that, yeah.
Could he be on that? As a,
Yeah, I don't
So-
know like what staff capacity is for being on a subcommittee, but I think like making sure that there's like a touch base,
I think the latter, yeah. I don't think, his plate is pretty full, but we'll see if we can't maybe have some sort of regular connection.
So is that like a subcommittee for, Explore Webster Groves? We talked about bouncing stuff to BDC. Is that one?
Yeah, that was
all?
a different one.
So that's different?
I thought you had talked about, you basically need to have what your marketing plan is that you want.
Mhm.
And you wanted to start talking about that in January based on my notes. And that could involve a subcommittee so that you could bring in some expertise. Chris Westmeyer, for example, was one of the people that was brought up when we had the Crossroads meeting that Tammy came to. Take advantage of the expertise that's there,
already in our community.
right?
Sorry, Franny.
Chris Westmeister owns Digital Strike in Crossroads.
Okay, I was making some drawings.
So when you
of
start
that.
talking about analytics and SEO and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So you,
I can reach out to this.
as a formal subcommittee of the commission doesn't have to be only commission members,
Mhm.
but it does have to go through standard agendas, notes, all that kind of stuff. You still have to follow that process.
It doesn't have to have any kind of publication or anything, does it?
Yes,
Oh, it does? The
Yes.
committee, the subcommittee meetings have to
Yes.
be on Zoom?
Not Zoom, it has to
it
be.
doesn't have to be on
published.
Zoom, but it has to be, an agenda has to be posted 24 hours in advance.
So the general public
Anybody
can show
can
up?
come.
Okay, okay.
All the collaboration subcommittee meetings that have been at the annex every month. We post an agenda for it. The notes go in the BDC minutes.
Okay. Okay. Sorry, still not very used to government.
Takes a minute.
That's what it's been discussed previously. Because you guys have been talking about, you needed a marketing plan, what is your ask need to be?
Mhm.
So,
Who else in the community? Is there one called Waremeyer or something? What-
yes, that's an Old Orchard.
Okay.
I mean, excuse me, Old Webster.
Right.
Anybody else that we can think of that would be worth reaching out as we're trying to?
If you want to talk about branding and expertise in that, Kelly Barr,
Okay, well, that's easy for me.
she lives next door to you.
Okay.
And what's nice about that is you just touched all 3 districts.
All right.
But you.
Do you want to trade shares?
I remember this stuff because I'm writing it. They say if you write, you remember.
So should we vote to form a subcommittee?
I would recommend that.
Okay,
Because then you know that you've decided as a group that this is what you want to do.
Mhm.
It's not just one person saying, let's do it, and then they go off and do their own thing. Because this is a commission.
Well, I motion to vote on starting a marketing subcommittee.
A second?
All right, all those in favor? So then once it's formed, then we can outline times and all that. We have to do that now. Okay,
Well, you have several people missing, so.
yeah, that's true. Okay. All right. Newsletter. Hi, Betty.
Hello. So this past month for the newsletter, Fran and I talked, and since there wasn't really any big updates at that time, we sort of were like, maybe we'll punt it until December and have this one be sort of just like, stay tuned for more updates. But also in general, something Fran and I were talking about was the newsletter has tended to have a lot of the same information each month. And so trying to think about how to make it more valuable for people. Like I, you know, I'm doing this on a volunteer basis, obviously. So if people want to maybe contribute more things that we could put in, I, you know, I only know what I know. So from our meetings here, but so I don't know, just thinking about how to make it more valuable for people so they'll actually read it. Because otherwise, why are we doing it? So those were a couple things we talked about with the newsletter. I would be curious what anyone else thinks about that.
Can I ask, where do you access this newsletter?
It's a email. And it's sent out to all the commercial businesses in Webster Groves that we have addresses, email addresses for. We do not have 100% of email addresses, but the ones we have, which is quite a lot.
So it comes from,
I send it out. Betty puts it together. She sends it to me and Jordan. And then for review or add, change, whatever, make sure it's kosher. And then I send it, I have the same vehicle that I use to send the information about the meetings
Mhm.
through Constant Contact. That's what I use to send out
Okay. Thank you.
and I will tell you, the open rate is higher than industry standard for the newsletters. We average about 55% open rate,
Wow.
which is huge.
Okay.
Congrats.
It's all thanks to Fran. I don't, but that's cool. I'm gonna write that down. So I don't know, does anyone have any idea? I know like people had good ideas in the past. About like including the dates at the top. That was like an edit that people had suggested, or I don't know, just how to keep it. It's hard because each month it's basically like, oh, yep, coffee and connections, that's still coming up. So I don't know, or do you think we should just keep, I guess the open rate's okay, so maybe we could just keep going with what we've been doing.
I would say it probably feels more redundant to you because you're creating it the same every time. For
Mhm.
everybody else, I think it's just we have to keep getting
Reminder.
those touches, right? And
Mhm.
so, just, I mean, I open it every time, like, oh yeah, damn coffee and connections.
Mhm.
So I don't think that's that bad. Content wise, I don't know that I would even read it, to be honest. Like I don't have a lot of time to dig into every email. I like when an email is surface level, honestly, because that's the information I needed. Great. Don't bring me somewhere else where I get lost and then don't get back to clearing out my inbox.
That makes sense.
No, I
I
don't.
I identify with that as well.
1,799. And that's just my personal.
Yeah. Betty, I agree, that, those consistent reminders, and I'd agree with you, John, like that it seems probably redundant to you, but I am the same way, like I need to read it like 4 times before it's like sinks in. So yeah, thanks for doing it, Betty.
Okay, great. Well, keeps my job really easy, so I will keep doing it. And December, Fran, I'm on it.
Well, I have a contact question for you. Holiday marketing efforts. This came from Scott Davis, kind of a rundown of what we're doing.
Mhm.
Would you see that as something that could go in the next newsletter?
Definitely.
And we don't have to wait for December. We can do one call it the November, December newsletter, be the final one of the year.
I like that.
Would we be able to do a call for anybody that's interested in participating in the marketing subcommittee and say, here's what we're doing this year? We're planning on doing something next.
Because it goes to every single commercial business. I don't know if that's a Pandora's box, especially if you want to make sure that you're inviting certain people with expertise that you know about.
Okay.
I agree.
I don't want to not be inclusive, but I also want you to be effective.
Good call.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I mean, having a subcommittee of people that have been vetted through council. It's one thing if we go after certain people with expertise, but to just throw it out there to anybody all of a sudden, that's doesn't seem right.
Okay.
Might not be able to accomplish the goals that.
Right.
All right, second contact question. Happenings of note. That we started last month. Could be in the newsletter also. As an ongoing part of the newsletter.
I
Yeah,
like
I mean, I
that.
think they did a pretty good job this past one. I mean, they have all the, like, Old Webster and Old Orchard holiday stuff, like listed and stuff too.
I would say. Let's let happy notes, go for a couple months and see what happens with it before we start putting that in the newsletter. Just because it's such a new idea, and we're one 1 month in. I would say let's just wait a little bit before we start throwing that in there.
Fran, can someone refresh my memory, maybe for Marnie too, like tell us about happenings of note?
We added it to the BDC agenda
Yes,
last
thank you.
month. And it's just district-wide, I guess, for lack of a better word, activities going on. It's not individual things necessarily. There was a lot going on right now. Now, back in January, it's gonna fall off the cliff. There's not gonna be anything. But one of the things that became obvious was, one district didn't know what the other district was doing when they're planning things.
Mhm.
And so then it gives them a, okay, do I really wanna be it on the same day? Et cetera, or just so that you are knowledgeable about what's going on.
I think it was pretty much included in this last one. I mean, they listed.
Yeah, it wouldn't be anything different.
Yeah.
Nothing, there's nothing new. It'd be actually things would drop off that have occurred
Yeah,
for the next one.
yeah, that's all.
And then how long will we have the business survey on?
I think you need to, personally, I think you need to go ahead and close that.
That makes sense.
Do we know how many responses we've, I think it was in the mid-30s?
Yeah, and you may have gotten a few more cents, but I don't think there could be high numbers. So then your question is, what are you gonna do with the information?
Use it in the marketing subcommittee?
Sounds like a good idea.
So do we need to vote to take the survey off, or is that just,
Yeah, and I don't know who's controlling that, but we do need to let them know. We can find that out.
okay,
I don't think there's any harm in kicking that till next meeting when Tammy's here, because
Yeah.
we get a big
I don't
hand in
either.
it. So
I
I
don't
feel
either.
like there's no harm in keeping it on right now.
No,
What to do with, I think what to do with that data is a question we need to talk about while
absolutely,
she's here. Because that was a lot of her brainchild, and
agreed.
she might have had some purpose in wanting to do that information. An ask that might be following from it. And I think it would be good to put that in the results in in an email.
In a later,
Because it's one of the hardest things about being a business owner is knowing what the other businesses are doing, what's going on, you know? I mean, we all see each other regularly, but I think we also have a tendency to say, everything's great. You know, nobody wants to show cracks.
you don't be the first person to say.
Right. So if you see the numbers, I think it might trigger some of people, oh, okay. It's important information, right? Buying and all that kind of stuff is based upon forecasting, and knowing what everybody else is doing is super important.
it's true.
All right, so we can move on, because a lot of that is what we're talking about is covered later too, so. The 2026 calendar for meetings is included at the end.
This is following the same format. You guys just need to take a look at it and see if that's what you want to do for next year.
Yeah, I don't know, it looks good to me. I mean, I think it's beneficial to meet at the beginning of the month. We're planning out stuff for other business districts. Do we need to vote on this?
I would say yes.
Okay. We have a motion to approve the 2026 Business Commission's schedule.
Let me just ask, why is it the first Thursday after the first Tuesday? Why can't we just have the first Thursday?
Because of council meetings. In response to council meetings, I'm pretty sure that's why it's the first Thursday after the first Tuesday. We meet on the first and third Tuesdays.
Tuesdays. But we're
And so
meeting-
there's a week when there's no council meeting, we wanna be after it.
I think that's why it
But we,
it was started that way, right, Fran? Am I
why,
wrong?
why couldn't it just be the first Thursday?
It doesn't screw me up in my
Oh,
calendar.
it's, I mean, I lie awake at night because of this.
I doubt it.
We could alternate it. We could do the first and then the third and then the second.
That would help a lot, right, it put me at home.
That was my understanding. Fran, do you have a different recollection?
I know that they wanted to have one commission meeting a week, is because there was one of the things they moved is there was two often.
On the same week.
Yeah,
So wouldn't this actually make that happen because we move into the week that Old Orchard Business District is having whenever it's not the first
right.
Thursday, we move into that second week, so.
But
Getting rid of that would actually be better.
But they're always the second Tuesday.
Right. And so what I'm saying, if it's the
It
first
seems
Thursday after the
like-
first Tuesday, that could be the second Thursday, those weeks, right? Isn't that what happens? Doesn't keep making it the first Thursday.
It can,
Right.
yes. We could fall in the same week.
I haven't been here a very long time, but I don't think there's a lot of need to be directly after the council meeting that we missed.
No.
You know. Not to underestimate the contribution, right? I just
Appreciate that. We're good.
I'd like I'm with Tim. I'd like the consistency
It wasn't my design.
and the fact that he lays awake at night.
Does it
Well, I keep calling you. No one can talk me, talk me back.
So if it's the first Thursday after the first Tuesday. That
How does
guarantees,
that
it's-
affect the second Tuesday?
well, it guarantees it's the first week. Whereas the first Thursday doesn't necessarily have to be the first week.
And this is exactly what I lie awake about.
I don't know.
Yeah,
That's-
Yeah, because then it could be the same week as Old Webster's meeting, because they're the fourth Tuesday. So the fourth Tuesday and the first Thursday could be in the same week.
Same problem we have with the other
Right?
one.
Right.
Guess we're gonna stay here till this gets figured out.
Does anybody have a slot?
Lock the door.
I mean, that would be necessary.
I motion to make it the first Thursday.
Okay,
Whatever
so
month.
immediately that becomes January 1st.
We don't have a meeting in January. That's what you're after.
There's the one.
Less meetings.
Why did you have to say that?
Well, it's reality.
It is.
That's really, is that the only one that's a real problem? Actually, as I'm looking at the calendar, the other one probably makes more sense. That's the July 4th and January 1st. It was just gonna create,
I think holidays is what triggered it, right?
that makes
That
more,
makes-
that makes
that
more
makes
sense.
sense.
Labor Day,
That makes sense.
Memorial Day.
I motion to approve the business commission schedule and sorry, Tim, you're just gonna have to have some sleepless nights.
All right.
All right, is everyone in favor?
We need a second.
Second. Everyone in favor? Everyone besides Tim. It's fine, yeah.
Old Webster is also 8 o'clock. We've moved to 8:15 because of Stacy.
Yes, did I not change that?
No.
All right, thank you. I see that.
Kids to school.
Oh,
So I moved
gotcha.
to 8:15 for her.
Congratulations to Stacy. Can I make that official on the
Did you have
kid
the
baby?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cam.
boy or girl?
Girl.
So is that for us, 8:15?
No,
No, we're gonna be as you see on
Okay.
here.
But you're saying that this should be 8.
yes.
And we have the room until 9:30. Has that always been the case?
Yes,
All right, so on to 2026 business. So we've touched on the survey. We decided to talk about the results. And it's what we're gonna do in January on the 8th. We touched on the subcommittee. You know, I think we can wait for everyone to kind of decide what the marketing subcommittee is. We've kind of outlined who it should be. You know, it should be representative of all the districts. But we could outline a plan
in January.
in January. And then I think the logistical plan for Explore Webster Groves, I believe that's how to free up some of Jordan's time. Kind of the way that it was presented to us, you know, so that can incorporate the marketing subcommittee. The way we understood it, it was presented where videos would be shot by businesses that wanted to be on Explore Webster Groves, and they would be given to us in some format. We don't know, and we could approve them, and then it could go up or not.
Yeah, I obviously I wasn't part of the
Yeah.
discussion, so I kind of, at a disadvantage, but I'll trust you that.
Okay.
the Discussion was.
Yeah, were they more just looking for a process? Is that what it came down to?
I
Maybe-
think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was just outlined that the way it wasn't work, it can't work the way it is.
Gotcha.
Based on the staffing that the city has, and Jordan's doing a great job, but he can't do everything. So if we can outline some way that Explore Webster Groves can still function and we can be a part of that approval process. And maybe that's through the marketing subcommittee. I don't know, that might be a lot to ask for a subcommittee.
It's definitely too much to ask for a subcommittee,
Yeah.
but I don't see why that's something that the city's doing, honestly. I mean, that probably should be something that's paid for somebody else to handle. As far as a marketing company or something that would be able to do the posting.
Is the Explore Webster Groves, is that a new thing that we're doing?
The website,
No, yeah,
It's the website,
or,
okay.
yeah, right, Ray?
It's the website and the social media.
it's online engagement for the city of Webster Groves. Whether that's social media, you know, a
Yeah,
real.
there's a landing page on the city's website that's called Explore Webster
I
Groves.
still know that it's been maintained as well as it
Right.
could have been in recent years.
There's been some turnover.
There are social media accounts that are associated with it as well, that have been very inactive
Mhm.
for
Is
the
there a
last
main
6 months.
person in charge of that? Or-
That's what the whole thing is. There's
This-
the staffing bandwidth is not there to
Right.
take care of it.
Jordan came in, what, 2 months ago?
Yeah, he's,
Yeah, but
Yeah.
he's identified this as a big issue that we're not
Gotcha.
managing it very well, and we could be managing it better. And I think that the first salvo there was, I can't be the one that does it, that do it with the work he's got going on. So if we wanted to give our input or figure out a way to better manage it, which I think is something that we should be focused on. Funneling all the business information out to the public through that one.
Yeah.
Perfect for the subcommittee.
All right, so that's Explore Webster Groves, and then I think this is a city item, expectations for commission members and meeting prep guidelines.
it's actually a Tammy item.
Tammy item, okay. So we can wait on that, but just so everyone knows, that's just kind of like that's an outline of what a business BDC member should be doing. And especially if you're going to a different associations meeting, just what you should be funneling to us, you know, and what should be going the other way as well. So I think it's good to just lay it out, you know, just to what it means to be a member, what we do here. We go to meetings, sometimes the first Thursday, sometimes the second, trying to be lay awake at night.
Okay, so this isn't related to the checklist you put out for events. This is more about what would, if you're a part of this and a part of a taxing district or
Yeah.
something, or trade association or whatever, how,
Yeah, all the above.
Yeah.
Yeah, so member and then other members, you know, what your report should kind of look like.
got it?
And maybe we could change the, you know, do the same thing with the chamber. We've asked them to be a line item a little bit higher, you know, maybe we can get more.
Got it.
Yeah. So we will see that in January. We can touch base on that. What about elections, Fran? That's in January.
January, every commission, not just this one, in January has to elect a new chair and a new vice chair. They can be reelected,
Okay,
but the
there
election
has to be a new election.
yes.
Perfect. But we have a long hour and a half in January on the 8th.
I hope I'm here.
He's like, can we move that to the first now?
I'll be here New Year's Day.
All right, so that leads us into business district updates. Old Webster, may I ask?
Sure. We moved, Oktoberfest. Lisa Lorenz did a fantastic job of, navigating, the city of Webster, to, move it to the following weekend because of weather, which worked out fantastically because it was a terrible day. And not that we had a great day, the next weekend, but we did. So that was not this last weekend, but the weekend before. But did a great job of doing that. And I think it was pretty successful. I was not there at the end of it. I was there at the beginning of it. But the bands weren't going to play. I mean, there was a lot that was going to happen if she wouldn't have done everything she did to make it happen. And she's the treasurer for the association. And next weekend we have holiday walk on Sunday from 10 to 4. And yeah, it's pretty much some of the highlights of the year.
Yeah, those are the two biggest events. Holiday Open Walks are usually the biggest event in Old Webster each year. Issue we've run into, and I'm just putting it out there as far as horses. We used to do carriage rides and it was a big attraction. But St. Louis Carriage Company went under in 2023. Last year we had a contract with some other group that claimed to be in an accident the morning of it.
true.
I still don't believe. We
Well,
went,
it didn't happen.
yeah, I watched the news. I
Yeah.
Googled it the
Yeah,
next
it-
day a bunch.
it-
Persons in accident. No, it did
No,
not
it
happen.
didn't happen.
And so I've been searching hard to try and find, there's just not a replacement for St. Louis Carriage Company. Actually, if you look, Tillis Park that used to do carriages does not do them anymore. This is the reason, the same reason that we don't have them. So just in case anybody hears about any kind of carriage company, somebody will eventually come up in their place. It's a great resource for the city. A lot of people use it. I know that there's people, I was tracking people that worked at carriage company that were trying to open their businesses, but it's not easy because of the maintenance of the horses and all the licensing and all that kind of stuff that needs to be done. So if it ever pops up and anybody hears it, if you're somewhere and you see horse-drawn carriages, ask please, who's putting that
I
on?
saw one just a couple of weeks ago. I was at St. Charles for their Halloween event and they had horse-drawn carriages.
St. Charles. Okay. Yeah. So we won't have them this weekend regardless. We've got circus performers instead. Which is a real big hit. You just need stuff to keep the kids occupied.
I mean, something we've talked about on the Merchant and Business Association in Old Orchard is like. Cause we were talking about horse-drawn carriage stuff too, but yeah, like you said, it's almost impossible, but. And this would take more planning for like next winter, and I don't know what coordination would be with the city, but like. Doing like a trolley sort of scenario, like on the weekends in like December or whatever, that could go to each of the 3 districts so that you could actually like, you know, it's especially in our district where like Novel Neighbors all the way down there and, you know, Cyrano's all the way there. It's a bigger stretch than even Old Webster Road and Crossroads, but so I don't know, that's just an idea of like, I don't, you know, that would obviously take coordination between the different districts,
Yeah.
which is, you know,
No,
and maybe with the I don't know what that coordination with the BDC, but maybe something to discuss like at the, you know, a couple months in advance of the holidays next year.
Just still
yeah.
remember, I've been beating this drum for years, right? I almost had that golf cart company, do you remember, that was gonna do that with the money we got from COVID?
Yep.
And it didn't work out, but something connecting the districts, and actually I wanted to ask, because we did move our Walktoberfest to the same weekend that the Fall Festival was.
Yeah.
How was Fall Festival?
So I was out of town that weekend, and of course, our business district association meeting is always the week after this meeting, so it hasn't, I haven't been
Okay.
to a new one since the fall festival happened.
So you got
Um,
problems
so-
with that meeting too. If you're not saying, I think
My
it's
update
all
for
coming
here
around.
is like a month old, because that's where the meetings fall, but, and I was out of town that week, so I didn't know, I mean, obviously, Sunday ended up getting canceled, I think, because of the rain, but yeah, I haven't, next Tuesday, I will get feedback on what the turnout was and how that went, but
And can I ask
unfortunately,
about
don't have an
the
update.
police presence at that when there was police vehicles at either end of Old Orchard with their lights going the whole time? Is that something that always happens?
Well, I guess you could.
Pedestrian crossings, those were both.
Is that what they were at,
Crossings.
pedestrian crossings?
Yeah.
And making people aware? Okay.
Oh, yeah, they had
Say
to,
Each district gets 2 cities.
yes.
Supportive events. Yeah, so because that was.
Well, the one crosswalk right there by where Weber's and now going to be DD Mel, that's got a stoplight.
Uh-huh.
The other one down the other end by Frisco and Balkan,
But that's
Cars
place
is-
dangerous.
cars ignored.
Yeah, we
Uh-huh.
talk about that all the time.
You come up
with
over that
Thunder.
hill from Balkan, I mean, you can't see
I
anything.
mean, we always
Take
discuss
the-
that on the old orchard
the-
meeting about how
The
that.
police officer
Needs to be
that
improved.
worked that had a suggestion for next year, which I really like, Chris. To put temporary stop sign and make Log Cabin a 4-way intersection at that point, because it would help. Because that's really dangerous.
Permanently or for?
Oh, no, just for the event
Okay.
But yeah, we.
I don't know that we can do that because of Big Bend and it's not our.
is a
That's the
county
problem.
road.
It's a county road.
County road.
Yeah. So it's-
Okay, okay.
So when you talk about adjustments or engineering to Big Bend, that's all gotta go through St. Louis County.
Yeah, but even like, so the crosswalk signs and things like that are like Suffolk County too.
Oh,
What
yeah.
I
about
know that
the-
even in Maplewood, they have the like crosswalk signs that like you can push the button and they like light up and flash at you, which at least helps somewhat.
Well, in Old
Like,
Webster, we have that one at Gray and Lockwood. You need something similar to that there. So there's at least something alerting drivers
Yeah.
that there's people.
and it's hard because there's always cars parked on the side and you don't see people either, because there's just like, they're right behind the cars. and,
Yeah, I
it's dangerous.
personally, I can bet almost hit people a bunch of times because they come flying out of.
Slow down.
I'm acutely aware of the
Slow down.
complaint, but as
Slow
I
down.
It's a
said,
county thing.
it's a county issue and they've done their kind of, this has been asked of them before and they kind of think that it is the way it is what they're going with, so.
Okay.
For what it's worth, though, if you go to the city's website and go to the Safe Streets webpage, there's an email where you can send comments such as that. And we'll make sure that we also send it to the folks at the county.
I mean, if anybody really had an axe to grind about it, they could contact the St. Louis County and ask for that.
I think that's like a really strong suggestion. They don't know what they don't know and,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah,
if-
maybe-
If it was brought up 2 years ago, great, they're, you know,
Yeah.
they might have a short memory, so if this, yeah.
Well, they have new people working this regional area too. Because in the middle of the Crossroads Streetscape project, they got a new person now.
So I'd like to
It's
get
the same
updated on
person.
that at some point. Betty? Does she know about the
She has,
crossroads?
we're doing district updates.
Oh, perfect timing, huh? Oh, just one quick, what was that cross street again? Big Bend and that come,
Yeah.
Oh, it's log
Log
cabin.
cabin
Log
on
cabin.
Sunset. And
You go down Balkan Tree Box and.
Is that
Old
between,
Orchard
is that
on the
between
other.
Commerce and Frisco?
yes,
That's a terrible street.
Yeah.
They should just take that street away. I mean,
It's really dangerous because you've got the public parking lot.
Back there,
People are
On
right?
both sides and, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Who are all the people that park on that street back there? Where are they working or going?
Along the railroad.
Yeah,
I mean, Frisco,
those
I
are
mean, when
employees.
Frisco and Annex, well, and I've parked back there as a customer, I mean, that lot back there gets full quick when, between all those restaurants in there now.
Yeah, employees can't park in the public parking lot. They have to.
Mm-hmm.
so it's all employees.
Yeah, I mean, we, at Cyrano's, we park on the street and we get parking tickets, but there's just nowhere else to park, so.
Well, I can tell you that somebody's complaining at the Fair Oaks. That's the reason why it made it all the way up to City Edmonds,
Yeah,
basically claiming that they can't make left turns. Because part of the way they're parked, and it's only 2-hour parking there.
yeah,
So,
but there's nowhere else for us to park, so we park there,
I-
and then we just take our tickets.
Do we need to-
I mean, the problem is there's all this blue permit parking on Big Bend and on. Not Summit, but the other one. And that is, no one parks there because no one wants to pay for it. So there's all these parking spaces that sit empty all day long.
What's blue permit parking?
There's just like, on Big Bend, in front of Cyrano's, between the church and like Cyrano's, there's parking spots and they're all blue permit parking. And then along Eden is all blue permit parking too.
Was it for Webster University? Is
It's
that what the intent?
For, I think the idea is it's for businesses to pay for their employees to park, but I'm not gonna pay for my employees to park,
It's
I
just
can't
like
afford
orange
it,
permits down here.
Okay.
yeah, but. Yeah, so. There's a lot of parking that sits empty because of that.
That's pretty cool. Orange permit.
Like our building gives half the spots on our lot to other tenants in our building. Which also restricts our customer parking, which is why none of our employees park in the parking lot, but. Yeah. Parking's probably everywhere. In the world, basically, so just deal with it. But
Yeah, that's it. Sorry, we've been down that whole.
Yeah.
All right, what is that thing called? The streets
The
project?
Streetscape, Crossroads Streetscape Project.
Betty, is there an update on that?
Update Betty.
Hello again. So the streetscape, I think they're just continuing a pace, right, Fran? I don't feel like there was a huge set of updates other than
That's true.
it's continuing, onward. So,
Construction is on target for 2027.
2027.
Right now, they're in the easement phase where they have to get all the easements tied down. I
yeah,
mean, even if it's just a little bit.
I'll believe it when I see it, Fran.
You're not alone.
2027.
You're not
Quite a few
alone.
times.
it's gonna happen, guys. It's going to happen. But yeah, so it's just, I think everyone's excited about it. And yeah, we talked about the easements and that was basically where we're at with that. I'm trying to think what else. We had like 2 times as many businesses participate in the trick or treat in Webster. So for Crossroads, that was really cool. We have our meeting next week, so I haven't heard how people felt like it went. I know for us, considering the weather, went pretty well. And we're talking about getting, how in, well, obviously you all know, but in Old Webster and Old Orchard, there's the lights that go along the tops of the buildings in some areas. You know what I'm talking about? Like year round, that look nice. Yeah. Okay. I can't see people's faces, so I can't see if people are like, yes or not. But,
Yes.
but we are thinking about trying to get those, along the buildings in Crossroads as well, but that's a bit TBD. I hope we do it because I think it would look really nice. And that was pretty much everything we talked about. Oh, and we worked on the write-up for the tour and selecting the businesses for Julie to go to. So, and Tammy came.
Betty, was pickleball canceled because of
I
the
was just about to ask that.
because of the rain? Okay.
Yes,
Two
That's 2 years
two in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that was really sad,
Mhm.
right? I was
You put so much
not, yeah. So anyway, but we did talk about that too. The bad weather for the weekend was a big discussion. So, yeah. Any other questions about that?
That's good. Thank you. Good report.
Thank you.
All right,
Yeah.
Old Orchard, or we've touched on it, I guess, yeah,
I think I kind of said all I have to say.
perfect. Jerry will give us a chamber update after the meeting, January 8th. Happenings of note, I mean, we kind of touched on the newsletter that kind of walked through all the happenings. City council,
Before, did we include in happenings of note, like any business permits that have been pulled or anything like that? Did we
I
say?
mean, like,
That was a feature that some of you have been on for a while, used to like, that was before.
That used to be city, updates.
Okay,
that you was included. Mara was the one that did that.
okay,
When Mara changed, when that stopped, that's when it stopped, so it hasn't been done for long. The council used to get a report of opening and closed businesses, and she then would share that at the meeting. But I don't think you guys get that report anymore.
That would be great for the newsletter.
It's great for just us. I mean,
I'll see what we can do about that. I'll discuss that with Dr. Hughes.
Can I ask, I know this is like selfishly talking about my own business, but I feel like I'm not in any of these districts. I'm over there on Marshall. What do I need to be doing? Can I not participate in the different?
no, I mean, you're in the right spot, so, all of these business districts technically roll up to this one. So it's great that you're here. There's other ways that you can get involved, subcommittees. So I think that's probably the best avenue. Like there's the next subcommittee meeting. And that's more like restaurant retail, like that's the,
EB.
yeah, November 4th. There's a BDC subcommittee meeting at, there was,
So we're past that.
or past
it's
that.
the first Thursday of the month. I mean,
So,
And
you're right,
likely the final meeting.
okay. So there will be other ways to get engaged, and Tammy can speak to that more, cause she was in.
right, I would talk to Tammy about
Yeah,
that.
that would
Tammy,
be-
she's in the exact spot you.
What's her last?
Thank you, H.
And just so you know, the reason that these districts exist is because there's a special business district tax on all the businesses, right? And so the tax rate is, sales tax rate is higher, I believe, in those areas. And we pay as a business in those areas a tax every year that is in the fund that these districts boards use to pay for things going on, right? And so and those have been, I don't know when that began, but predates everybody at this table.
Yes, I mean, a long time.
Only
So-
Joe,
Okay.
only Joe would remember.
Correct. Zeta Del is not a taxing district.
Okay.
Which is always really tricky, and that's why Tammy has historically been working, Tammy Bain, who's the chair. Has been working really hard on kind of creating a one Webster vibe to make sure that all parts of Webster are included, because there's also Yorkshire. On the corner of Watson and
Complete station.
Complete Station.
That's Webster too, a lot of people don't.
So there's
Okay,
a lot of
thank you.
Yeah.
opportunities.
But technically, there are 18 commercial areas in the city. Now, some of them may only have one or two businesses, but we're geographically challenged. We're not like Kirkwood where it's all in one spot.
This makes this really special.
That's right.
The need for a trolley.
Or horses.
Good question.
The golf carts.
Yes, golf
I,
cart.
I have a picture of horses in my front yard.
You can picture horses.
City council
My house
updates.
is-
Yeah,
It can- it can
thank you,
set.
Chair. So on that note of uniqueness, I do want to acknowledge that Webster is very special. And I want to also acknowledge, and you all have probably heard this before, but the connection and the collaboration from City Hall with the business districts is unique in the area. There are not a lot of municipalities who pay into marketing. And so I just want to I think it's like really strong. It shows that the city cares deeply about your success, and I think that that's like a really important collaboration. Because there's really just a lot of great things that come out of these collaborations. So I want to acknowledge that. In our meeting the other day, Gregory Donovan, our Director of Finance, gave us a Q1 breakdown, and that tax revenue in our business districts is down. And I can't remember the statistics. I should have pulled them up for you. But our use tax is up a scotch, and it's just down a scotch. But the use tax, which is the taxes collected on online orders, is down a scotch. So I think, looking at 2026, I mean, it is done for, the calendar year of 2025, but 2026, I don't know what could be done to, a shop local push again. I was speaking to someone yesterday in the Old Webster business area about how interesting the vibe was during the pandemic and how that was some of the businesses in the area's strongest year, because the entire community was linking arms, and we're going to support our stores. We're not going to let them go under because of this special vibe that Webster has, these business districts. Regionally, people are envious of what we have, and then also nationally, it's recognized as well. We have to remind our citizens and the region at large, I think that's bringing people in from outside of the region is really critical, but also reminding folks here to shop local is going to be important, and it might be something important for this body to consider. I also want to acknowledge that the Jerry Welch Sculpture Park attended that busy weekend of Fall Festival and Walktoberfest. That was a lovely ceremony, and that's just such a great little asset that we have down there, that adorable park. It is really great, and the naming was really a lovely event. And I was able to then hit Walktoberfest and walk around and see the kids, and I thought it was awesome. Really great energy. And then the Fall Festival was phenomenal too. And I was out there on Sunday, and I was out there at 3, and it was raining, and businesses were still there, and they were starting to clean up. But the chat that I had with them, those the vendors, and then with John and Kelly, everybody was really pleased with how it turned out. So that is my update for right now.
Thank you.
Mhm.
All right, so,
Jim, if I made it, I don't know if David wants to.
oh, sorry.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, anything.
Thank you. Yeah, I have just a short list of things. I don't know if any of you attended. I know Councilmember Hasselmeyer did. There was an open house at the rec center for the skate and performance park about a week or so ago. Greatly attended, lots of skater kids and skater adults. The performance park aspect, that's talking about a performance area, whether it's a stage or a pavilion or something of that nature. There's going to be another open house on December 17th, also at the rec center. On November 17th, there is an open house at Ivory Crockett Park with a master plan. I also wanted to, and I'm going to do this one selfishly since I'm the liaison to the newly formed Stormwater Management Advisory Commission. We need members. Ideally, they're Webster residents, but they don't have to be. But what we're really looking for is for people with some expertise in stormwater management, planning, engineering, anything of that nature. So whether that's you or if you know somebody, please tell them to visit the city website and check that out. Something else that's new on the city website is we have a strategic dashboard that is now up and running that ties back to the city's strategic plan and the key performance indicators that are part of that plan. And it's our way of measuring, how successful we've been at implementing. November 8th is the Pumpkin Smash. If you haven't done that didn't do that last year, it's very popular. It's also Feed the Masses time, so if you have any donations for Feed the Masses, please take them down to the rec center. A reminder about the Turkey Day run and and the Holly Jolly Fest is on December 5th, and that's where if kids want to see Santa, or you can donate gifts for Children's Hospital. So I ran through about 1,000 things there as quickly as I could, because I know you all have important things.
Well, you didn't tell us where the pumpkin smash is.
Is that on?
It's on the service center on
Sorry,
Whitemeyer
yeah,
behind
sorry.
the BP on Brentwood.
Yeah.
So it's back there. If you know where Webster Rock Hill Ministries is, it's right there. If you just go right back there behind
Behind-
Davis Park.
Brentwood Building Supply. It's
Mhm.
kind of tucked behind there.
Mhm.
That's where all the,
And bring your pumpkins and your baseball bats and hammers and whatever you, or if you just want, you can just leave it there too.
Holly Jolly Fest,
December 5th. This will, most of this, if not all
is
of
that
it.
in Parks and Rec?
Yeah,
event?
it is. On the Friday page, if you don't subscribe to it, please do. You'll see most of this stuff on there as well.
And I forgot one thing. I attended a circular STL symposium. And Mr. Booklist was there as well. And it's a really great regional conversation about talking about responsibility that businesses have and organizations in the area to close the loop, to address waste streams, to kind of identify where there are opportunities. And we know there are a lot of opportunities because there's a lot of waste out there. It's an interesting group, really fascinating conversation. It requires a lot of grassroots efforts, and then it will require one-day policy. But it's a very cool conversation, and if anybody's interested, I'd be happy to share their info with you. And most of you know, my whole reason for existing now is sustainability. And so when we talk about lights on buildings and that sort of thing, there's a lot of things that you have to consider. I love the lights on the buildings. I think it's so totally charming. What does it look like to turn them off for energy efficiency's sake at, midnight? And then also in the months of migratory months, which are May and September, what does it look like to turn them off? I don't know what, these questions are the things that kind of sit with me. And as the liaison to this commission, I think it's also important that I bring these sorts of things up so that we can start looking at the businesses can also, and restaurants, address sustainability. It is a strategic pillar of ours, and in our comp plan, it plays a very large role. And how we want to move forward as a city and a community. Because what we do today impacts those future Webster residents and us. Thanks.
thank you. All right, that's great. So set your calendars, January 8th. Set it now, Tim.
Call me.
Motion to adjourn this meeting.
Second, a motion to adjourn the meeting.
A second.
All in favor? All right, thank you, everyone.